At Alopecia UK, we get asked a lot of questions around wigs. So this week's episode is focused on how do you find the right wig. We would like to answer your questions about alopecia.
So send them to us and we'll answer them.
This is
Ask Alopecia UK.
So Amy, I noticed today that you've got a wig on, and that normally you don't tend to kind of go towards wigs. Can you tell me why? What is it about today that you've got this wig on?
This one's a little bit different. So you'll see it's an affection blue, which isn't my usual. It wasn't my usual hair colour when I had hair. And I think for me, the reason I struggled with wigs was when I went out and got a wig, I immediately thought I had to have one that was exactly like the hair I was, replacing, and that didn't work out for me at all. So when I put the wig on, I felt really uncomfortable. It made me more emotional, and I think it was a reminder of what wasn't there anymore. So my experience of wearing wigs didn't work out, and then for me in the last few months, I've found that there's kind of bolder and brighter colours, and that's allowed me to have some fun with wigs. So whereas previously in the last few years I found wigs to be quite a negative thing that I haven't enjoyed, I'm now able to enjoy them, which is really good.
It's interesting that you should say about kind of finding that you tried wigs trying to replace kind of the hair that you lost, because for me I'd always done that. I tried my best to find a wig that was like the hair that I'd lost, and that's what I always tried to get. It never actually did quite look like it, but that's always what I was aiming for. And then as well, like, I'd always keep my wigs exactly the same, and I wanted them, to go from one to the next that was just exactly the same. I didn't want people to notice and things like that. And it's only actually now when I'm older that, I kind of change it around a bit. I don't quite go for it.
No.
It's kind of as bold as you, but I think now I'll probably get into a stage where maybe I'll be able to feel more comfortable and try that.
Yeah.
So I guess it's trying.
It's trying different things, and it's finding that there's more products out there than you might have, originally realised. And that first wig that I talk about trying on, that was really that was one of two options that I was shown at the time of trying on a wig via my NHS supplier. And actually the question should be asked, do you want to have the same hair as what you've lost, or are you looking for something different? Because for me, I do think my experience with initial wig wearing would have been very different had actually the option of, do you want something different? And it didn't come up as an option. I remember being asked, what was your hair like? And it was like, oh, okay, it was mid-length brown hair. Okay, we'll see what we've got. And that's where I ended up with a wig that was very much like my own hair, and that didn't work for me.
It's interesting how a different wig and a different look can just give you a totally different feel, like a totally different. You can feel completely different about yourself, can't you? Like somebody might go out with hair, might go and get a haircut, and they'll feel completely different about themselves, or somebody might come out with hairdressers crying their eyes out because the hair looks different and stuff just from a haircut. And I'm just thinking, like, wigs, you can feel totally different. I can feel totally different in like a long wig than a kind of short wig. It takes time to develop a relationship, but I think with alopecia, the more time goes on, you do develop a relationship with wigs, and that's probably all part of it when it comes to finding the right wig. I guess as you sort of grow up when you've got alopecia, you grow with it, don't you? And I guess sort of ideas around and feelings towards wigs and stuff might change as time progresses. So like you're saying there, 5 years ago you might not have envisioned yourself wearing a blue wig, whereas now you kind of at a place where that's where you feel comfortable with it. When you do find that wig that works for you, it can completely change your life, and that again comes back to reinforcing why it's important. Don't just let somebody push on a wig to you and say you should have this one. Like, I was really annoyed when I talked to that woman on the phone and she said, I've got this wig and I really don't like it, but you only showed me two and I had to have this one. And she's had to use up her vouchers or her money towards that wig, and she didn't even want it. And it's just like, that is just not how it should be. You should go somewhere and you should be shown loads of different options. You should be allowed to try loads of different things on, and that's how you find it. It might not be what you're expecting, but definitely you need to try loads of different styles on and things, and look at lots of different choices and bases, and see the ones that are going to kind of suit you and your lifestyle.
So I think that's what the advice that I would give anyone would be is, don't go for the first one that you see. Try others on, and you might actually be surprised that the one that you end up loving, it might not be what you initially anticipated being the wig that you would choose. So our advice would be, when choosing a wig, make sure that you shop around. Don't take the first option that's made available to you unless you instantly fall in love with it. If you're only given 2 choices, look for more, check out various options, look online, and make sure that any wig that you get, it's properly fitted for you. Jen, have you got anything else to add?
I think that pretty much sums it up, to be honest. Yeah, just see what options are out there. Have a good look around, and don't feel like somebody's forcing a wig on you, that's saying that that's the one you've got to have. No,
it's got to be your choice.
Yeah. We want to know if you feel like you've found the right wig for you, and if you have, how did you find it? Please leave your comments below and let us know.